What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the All About the Data podcast. We back with another one. We got two people missing with us, but the show must go on, so we're going to keep it going. You already know we got Shanice in the building with me. Shanice is a soldier in the building with me. She ain't leaving. I'm lonely. But we also got another special guest for today's show. We got Patricia in the building. I'm going to go ahead and just introduce her right quick. Then I'll have her talk for herself. So Patricia, also known as the Airbnb Queen, currently a technical sourcer recruiter for Amazon. She's been on the recruiting scene for a little over a year, and she's also a DEI advocate. So we're definitely glad to have you in the building. We actually had a business intelligence engineer from Amazon. So Amazon is all up in the All About the Data podcast right now. So shout out to Amazon. Shout out to Jeff Bezos. What's going on? Just to talk to the people.
Well, he is upping my salary right now, so I love it.
Okay.
Oh man.
My name is Patricia. As you said, I've been in tech for a little over a year. I went to USF in Florida. Go Bulls. And I have a few Airbnbs on the side. I have a few in Florida and one that I just opened in Philly a few months ago.
Awesome. I didn't know you went to school in Florida. Team Florida in the building.
Yeah. So I'm originally from New York, moved to Florida in high school, then went to college at USF to be a little bit going in and out of school. You know how that goes.
Yeah. I know how that goes. Yeah. What part of Florida were you from?
So we moved to like a small town in, it's like close to like Sarasota. It's called Port Charlotte. And after, so you know where it is?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Cause it's little, no one knows. But, so yeah, then I moved to Tampa like 11 years ago, and I've done everything from bartending to modeling to industry things, all that. And then I kind of was, trying to take my career path more seriously like 5 years ago. So I've been like getting into corporate, trying to navigate, finding my niche. And then I kind of finally found it a few years ago. So.
And that's dope. We kind of got the same story a little bit because I was in entertainment too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was a musician myself, and I also ran like a little independent record label and through events and different things like that. So.
Yeah, I used to do bookings. So like industry bookings, like for artists.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually, when I moved to Tampa, I linked back up with like one of my homeboys who was like a major DJ and in the industry. And then I was like his assistant. So I learned about like contracts and this and that. So he taught me like a lot. And then I kind of branched off and started using my resources, my contacts of all the people that I met through him and actually, source them roles. Get them. So I was already doing it. God was preparing me for the way that I'm already in now. So, so I was getting them bookings throughout Florida. So that was kind of like my area, like Central Florida. So I met a lot of DJs. I worked with like a couple artists. So it was good. It was a good experience, but I moved on from that.
Yeah, that's what's up. Kind of same. Yeah, like you really learn a lot in that industry that you can bring over into different realms. Mm-hmm. So I can definitely relate to that. So with all that being said, what made you pivot into recruiting?
So it's so funny because I did not want to be a recruiter. When I went back to school, I started like doing insurance, and then I was like, okay, that's not for me. Then I started doing like customer service roles in insurance, like health insurance, because I did property and auto. And then I worked at T-Mobile, and T-Mobile was like the most money that I've ever made without a degree. And then after that, I was like, okay, let me go back to school. And I'm like, okay, let's go to HR. So I'm like, okay, human resources, we good. I'm looking at salaries. So I'm like, okay, we can do something with this. Yeah. So that was like my thing. And then I ended up finishing community college, going to USF, and figuring out that I couldn't go straight into the business school. I had to take prereqs. And at the time I was like, I'm too old for this. Like, I don't have time to take another year out of school. I mean, outside working or whatever, because I've already taken 2 years off at this point.
Hey, so, man, we don't get older. We only get younger.
So I was like, at the time, I was like, oh no, I can't. So I was literally emotional about it. And then I kind of pivoted into organizational communication, which is how organizations and corporations and governments like communicate with each other. So I kind of fell into that, but it was really what I needed at the time. And I just didn't even know it. And then after that, just talking to more people around me, I left school. I even had a few HR internships, and those didn't really like pan out the way that I thought they were. And then I kind of spoke to one of my friends, like she was a recruiter for Microsoft. Now she works for Meta. So I'm just like, okay, can I do this? Like, do I have enough experience? Like, I know I've been in the workforce, but I was so insecure about my, just like my transferable skills that I didn't know existed. So then I was like, all right, so let me try. So I'm sitting here like revamping my resume, optimizing my LinkedIn. I'm doing all these things. I'm trying to talk to recruiters, and I'm only getting like contracts or agencies because of my experience. So I was getting a little discouraged. So I was just like, you know what, whatever. I'm just going to keep on doing it. And I'm thinking like, man, I need like a referral or something. And I ended up writing like a random recruiter on Facebook, and she ended up giving me a referral. She didn't even respond back to my message, but I got a referral in my email, and I'm like, oh, she must have seen it. I was like, okay, bet. So then I go to the interview, and now, mind you, listen, I smash interviews. Okay. So I go to it was a Facebook interview. So I do the interview, and I'm thinking like, all right, bet they're going to pick me. Didn't end up getting it. And I was like, damn. And it was like for a recruiter coordinator. So it was like, you know, like not even a recruiter. So, because I was just getting in. So I got like a little discouraged from that, but I was like, whatever. So then in December, I ended up, so then I got a agency recruiter role. So I was doing that for like 10 months. And during the 10 months, that's when I started like looking for jobs. So I was in agency recruiting, and I didn't really like it. My only goal was to learn and take that and move forward, just to get like some, you know, knowledge under my belt, some experience under my belt. So I'm looking for jobs, and then I stumble on a few like jobs at Amazon. So I do that. They end up calling me back. And at that point I was like in Philly getting an Airbnb together for like 3 straight weekends. So I was so tired, leaving every weekend to go to Philly and literally not getting any sleep. So I come back the last weekend from Philly, and that Monday I had an interview at Amazon, and I'm like, how am I going to do this? So, you know, you have to learn the STAR method, they have 16 leadership principles that you have to apply to the STAR method. So you have to have a story for each one. And I was like, I don't know if I'm going to have time to have a story for everyone, but I kind of like was like, all right, let me work smarter. So I go online and I'm researching, YouTubing, TikToking, like looking at people's different advice. Like, so I do that. I'm literally studying these STAR method questions for like 8 hours for 2 days. So 16 hours I put in. I go do the interview. The interview's 4 hours. And then the next week, one of the recruiters like sends me a text message. Now, mind you, I've never even got a text message for an offer before. So I'm like, is this fake? Is this real? I didn't understand. So she texts me and she's like, I just wanted to reach out to you. She was like, your interview was so amazing. She's like, we're going to offer you a position at Amazon. And I'm a technical recruiter, not like the recruiting coordinator roles that I was originally like trying to go for. So, the program that I'm in is like, I guess the recruiter actually like applied my application to this recruiter technical sourcer like program that Amazon offers. So even though I have some experience, they actually like, she placed me in a program because she thought it would be like a better fit. So I'm like, okay, cool. So now I get the whole kind of like training and going in depth in like, so I'm going to be doing AWS, and I'm going to be hiring like cloud developers on the back end. So with all of that, like I think over the course of maybe like 3 months, I was like not interviewing, but applying for jobs. And then it kind of finally like hit, and now I'm on at Amazon. So I'm excited.
That's dope.
Amazon.
That's so dope. 4 hours is a long time for an interview.
That's a long
4
time.
hours for an interview.
Yes, girl. Listen, 4 hours. But I was so prepared that like every question I had 4 separate interviewers. And then I looked up all of my recruiters, looked at the path that they took, how many years did they do Amazon. So I had a question to ask every person, and it was very unique questions. I feel like I stumbled a little bit. It was like questions not surrounding like the benefits or culture or this or that or the day in the life. Like those are generic. Like I asked like, oh, okay, wow, I see that. Like if I had, say they went to USF, I'm like, oh, wow, I went to USF too, like go Bulls. And, they're laughing, eating it up. And and I was like, so you went to USF, so did I. We actually graduated in the same major. And then I see that you've only been at Amazon for a year, like, and then the other positions that you've had previously, like, how did you transition? Like, what are some tips and tricks you would give somebody that is transitioning from where you came from, like something like that. Right. And then, it's something that they have to like kind of think about, because I feel like people ask them the same questions. So I was trying to stand out by asking them different questions about the role. Like, if somebody was saying that they liked something about the job, I would be like, okay, well, that's awesome. I'm so excited to start. I've heard about everything that everyone likes, but what is something that you don't like? What is something that you want to change? Like, stuff like that. And then I feel like I was stumping them, because he was like, hold on.
Right.
I want to say something, but I need to be correct before I answer.
Right.
So,
that's a nice way to do market research on the environment you about to step into.
True. Yeah, that's true.
It's something you said. You said that you didn't like agency. When you say agency, like you mean like a recruiting agency?
Yes. So this is like agency recruiting. So it's very high volume. Like I was hiring business analysts, project managers, developers, validation specialists, and they could be life sciences. It could be tech. It could be both. They were very niche to the point where, so the client that I had, it was like a pharmaceutical, like, engineer. It was so much that it had a lot of components, and you don't hire the same type of person all the time. The job descriptions, they change. So it's not like they want you to be like this IT expert. It's like they want you to know like the basics, but then it's like you're spending time researching it. The jobs change every single time you get a job. They would give you like 2 jobs at a time, and they could be I could have 2 business analysts, but they're totally 2 different types of analysts. Like it was like crazy. I used it just to learn. Just for a stepping stone, and like, not to say too much, but I just wanted my job to be just, very more inclusive than this particular company was. So it just wasn't like my style. So my mindset about it was I like blocked out all the noise. I was just trying to do what I needed to do, try to like research on the jobs that I did have, because maybe I could use it later on, or, just try to get placements just so I can have experience in the full recruiting life cycle. Just different things like that I wanted to accomplish before leaving. Just so that I can have like a little bit of experience on how to have, like candidates, but you like now in corporate recruiting, you don't really like have to kind of have candidates like in your bucket in your pipeline where you are, like constantly checking on them and going back. Usually when you recruit them, you kind of hand them off, and then the HR kind of like resources positions like that are in the admins, they kind of take that portion off of you. You just do the life cycle and follow them through their journey on the onboarding, getting hired, and then you hand them off to somebody. So it's a lot different. So I'm excited to kind of learn more about how Amazon does it, their onboarding process. So they offered, they did give me resources on like before I started, but I did actually take it upon myself to do like this AWS cloud practitioner like cert. I don't know if I'm going to go through the whole like and get the actual certification, but I am like, trying to go through the courses and get intros and try to see like what different, like the different verbiage, like, because I want to definitely be prepared, because I want to take my position into like a leadership role, and they allow you to be, you know, innovative, and they want you to be this like entrepreneurial style, like employee. So, and I love that. So that's where I'm like trying to take it. And I want to put that out there on the forefront, like a leader, you know? So,
yeah. So what made you get into like technical recruitment? Why not stay in insurance, or why not go to medical?
So when I got into agency recruiting, it just kind of fell in my lap that way. I didn't even have a chance to pick, because they did. So the type of agency that I worked for, it was like tech, life sciences, human resources, construction, like higher level construction, like execs. What else? It was like every industry. And I just got kind of put into the tech one. They picked them randomly. So I didn't really have a choice, but obviously it was by design. So I'm not complaining.
Okay.
So, but I truly believe everything happens for a reason. And my journey through every single thing that I feel like that I've been through is literally helping me in the place that I am today. Like I didn't know it then, but literally looking back, every little thing, good or bad, that I've been through is literally leading me to this position, to this day, to like, so now I'm actually in Florida right now. And Amazon is actually relocating me to Dallas. Now I still will be remote, but I'll be
leaving us.
Yeah. So I'm going to Dallas, and this is the first time that I've ever like had a company pay for me to move somewhere, like pay for everything. They're literally paying for my life right now. So, which is, such a great thing. Like, I feel like I'm getting a taste of like what's to come. Like if I stay with Amazon for 5 years, or if I catapult into other positions or other companies, I'm literally getting a taste of what it's going to look like, feel like. So that way I know what to anticipate, or know my worth for next positions, which is, I feel like it's a great opportunity right now. Yeah.
I feel like we're getting like the behind the scenes of a technical recruiter. I got to go get my resume right.
Hey, listen, I did not know recruiters made this much, but baby boy, listen to me.
Man, don't let me switch now. They call me Data J. I don't want to change it to Recruiter J now.
You say that every episode.
Don't tell me that. My new name gonna be Recruiter J in a minute.
Lord Jesus, don't get him started.
But nah, that's dope though. You can work for Amazon. You can get people into Amazon. That's a big company to have on your resume too. So if you ever want to go to Google or anything like that, like I'm pretty sure you have those doors wide open.
I know. I'm very, very fortunate. Like I feel like God is the only one who did it. Okay. Cause I don't think I did this on my own. Like for real. Like I'm not even kidding. I literally, from when I graduated college, I was in agency recruitment for about 8 months before I got the offer letter from Amazon. So I literally changed the trajectory of my salary in literally 8 months. So if I can do it, I'm definitely advocating for everyone to be doing this, like especially my Black and brown sisters and brothers, okay? Because we get this, and it's just really information. Like I literally will talk to people and they're like, what? Like, what you mean? Are you sure? And I'm just like, yes, listen, yes, you can. Whatever you're doing right now, please, I will show you. And they're like, no, like, are you sure that I'm able to do that? I'm like, yes, you are. You are. Yeah. And it's people are so insecure about it. And I'm just like, that's why I'm like, now I'm trying to like make more videos and do all these like different things. I had somebody like a brand partnership from Tik Tok reach out to me recently, and I don't even have a lot of followers on TikTok. Like, so she reached out to me, and she's like, I'm glad to see that you're, you're out here advocating for Black and brown folks, like to get into tech. She's like, I'm excited to see what you're going to do in the future. And I'm just like, okay, well, you're motivating me now, because I was only doing videos at my leisure. Like I wasn't doing, like it was my job. Like I wanted to go viral or anything. I was just doing like different things. Like, cause I have a lot of different videos. I have different videos on Airbnb. I have videos of me being like outside. I have funny ones, like, whatever. So when I started like doing tech, like I had first did one about like getting my offer letter. and it was like to a Nicki Minaj sound. And that thing went crazy. And I was like, oh, okay, I'm famous.
That girl went viral. How that song go? I did my dance on TikTok and went viral with it. That girl went viral on TikTok, okay.
So then I was like, okay, maybe that's my niche, because I feel like I've posted so much content that nothing has really hit. It only got like a few views, like a few hundred. That's it. The tech things, they're taking off. So I'm just like,
hey, okay, who you telling? Like my Twitter went crazy. As soon as I started talking about data and all that, my Twitter went crazy.
It's taking off, right? I feel like I've gotten like, as soon as I started like following more people in tech, same thing happened. Like I gained like over 100 followers in like the past month.
You know what it is though? It's like, it's more information out now. Cause when I first was introduced to tech in 2018, it wasn't like out there like that. So it's like, you know, now it's like the new hot thing. Everybody's trying to see what's going on. But what I really like about this particular conversation is it's showing you that you can get into tech without having to do tech stuff. You can be a tech recruiter. Like that's just, you know, different. I don't think a lot of people even like think about that. So you know, that's interesting to put it out there. Like you don't got to be a coder or you don't even got to be a data analyst. You could be somebody that recruit data analysts or data engineers, something like that. So
you can be a recruiter. You can be, there's like customer success managers. Does a
project manager.
Yeah, a PM. You know, there's a lot of non-tech roles. Like one of my friends, she works for Citibank, and she's a project manager, and she doesn't know any, and she has a tech team, and they're based in Indonesia. She only sees them on Zoom. And she works in the US, literally. And what's so crazy is that there's like some privacy laws. And so she doesn't even know what they actually do because she can't see their information. Okay, so she can't even see her information, but she is a project manager for their team. Exactly. So it's like, it's literally
so much opportunity, so much opportunity.
Oh, legal, accounting. There's so many roles. Like you literally just have to look.
Exactly.
They do not look because they don't think that it's attainable. They just think that like, oh, okay, well, I'm just going to do the norm. Like they're like tech, like, or I didn't know that you were like technical like that. Like, what do you do? And I'm just like, no, I'm not technical at all. Like, I'm sure I probably can be if I apply myself, but I'm not.
But that's what I'm saying though. It's good for people to see all the avenues because on Twitter you can see like a lot of the same. You know, a lot of the same positions being talked about over and over and over. And it's like, you don't really see all the options, you know? So that's good. Do you find it hard, like finding talent when you looking?
So, I don't. So because like before I did, because it was so niche that sometimes you would have to find a technical project manager that has like Power BI or something crazy that is not normal. So where am I going to find a technical project manager that has Power BI and all these like other project manager like tools that they're supposed to be using, or Agile or whatever, like low key a business analyst, but they need to be a project manager. And not that those two couldn't be interchangeable because they can, but like nobody's writing that on their resume per se. That makes sense. So it's harder to search. Like I just, found that in agency recruiting. Now, I don't start Amazon until Monday. So I'll find out like more about that, like the back end, but I've been learning more AWS, like cloud engineer stuff, like on my own. So I'm just curious to see like how that's going to go, but it's going to be the same. I'm going to be recruiting for the same type of role. So it's going to be a lot like easier, I feel. But I don't think that it's going to be very hard because agency recruiting is like, you have to talk somebody into taking this role because you have to take a passive candidate and you have to sell to them. Corporate recruiting there's no selling involved. It's not a sales job. Agency recruiting is like a sales job. It's very different. So, I'm going to get like a different experience with Amazon because Amazon already has a name. It's already a brand. And I'm not going to have to talk them into doing anything. They're probably going to be chasing me. Like, my inbox is probably going to be on full all the time. So
That's interesting. I'm gonna touch back on that a little later if we have some time. I got some questions related to that, but let's keep it going. So, being a DEI advocate, one, I don't know what that is, so I would love for you to explain it. But how do you tie that in with your work, and how do you practice your advocacy?
So that's the diversity and inclusion. So I'm really, really big on that. I am advocating for all of the people that look like me to get into a space where they didn't think that they belonged. So that's why I am trying to make more videos. I'm trying to like put more things out there, even though there are other recruiters or people on TikTok and Reels and all this stuff doing the same type of videos. We don't have the same reach. So I do feel like there's room for everyone to the more of us that are advocating for this and advocating for all of us to get in. It's like, I love answering questions. Sometimes it gets overwhelming on like TikTok or some of these platforms, but I like answering like questions to people because I want them to truly know, because when I go to the office and I'm looking at the screen with all the people that I work with, I want to see the whole screen melanin. Okay. That's what I want to see.
Amen. That's one thing I like about this podcast too. You know, it's real diverse. Like, you know, where I should say diverse is in gender, just to be clear. But you know, I've made sure to include women in tech and, you know, brothers.
Yeah.
So,
and listen, we are out here. Okay, it's getting real big, and we should be the top because we were the first. So women were the first computer programmers, but the first computers were human, and they were Black women in the 1960s. So please stop playing with us.
Big fat. Okay, then let them know. And
I just did a video on this too. So I think this is the video that got me seen by that TikTok brand partnership. Yeah. It was, I was starting to make videos about like back in the day of how like computers first like started, like when tech was really like something and it was really women. There's a photo that I posted. It's literally Black women in the front row. There are a sprinkle of white women in there, but we are literally in the whole entire photo. It's a black and white photo, but you can tell it's us.
Yeah. So shout out to the melanin sisters, man. You know,
I've seen that photo.
And I did like a few things. So I'm gonna do like some more like back in the day kind of videos. Like my next one's probably gonna be like on the hidden figures. I did one on Patricia Graves. She was like a computer analyst. She worked for like aviation and electrical and all these companies. And she was literally stating that she was one of the first human computers. So it's really, really like nice to see that like, wow, we were really out here and they're trying to block this history from being told. And I want to tell
you know, history go deep. It's a lot of things we was great at, you know, so.
And they got away from us.
We got to get too deep into that, but it's a lot of things that we was great at. So, but you know, speaking of brand deals, I do see they come a lot when you putting yourself out there. You know, recently actually got a brand deal with Springboard for their data science and data analytics route.
Okay.
You know? So you know, they reached out to me and they seen everything I was doing. So you know, it's interesting because when I first started, like, you know, doing the stuff you said, like just putting myself out there, it wasn't really like, I didn't really know what to expect from it. I kind of was just, you know, just doing it for fun, really. I still do it for fun. You know, I don't let those like the followers and the attention and get to me because at the end of the day, I'm doing this for fun. You know, it's not really who I am. It's just what I do, you know.
Right. Okay. I like that.
You got to always stay true to yourself, you know.
You surely do. Because for me, I'm just not like, I like, you know, the platform and what it allows you to do, but I do not like what it comes with when you get a platform that goes crazy. Like, because then once you put things out there, then it does give people, you know, because they have an opinion and which is very warranted, whatever, but like that part of it, I don't really like per se.
Yeah. So, I stay out of all that.
Yeah,
I just stay in my
sure.
lane. You know, I just put out information. I just hope I can help. And
exactly, and that's all.
Get out the way. Exactly.
You know,
exactly.
So we're gonna move on to the next question. But Quant King J, one of our hosts who couldn't be here today, wanted us to shout him out. You know, he should have been here. No, we know why he's not here.
Not a shout out. He a mess.
Shout out to Lucky too. You know, that's one.
Yeah,
of my
shout out to Lucky and Jafar. Mm-hmm.
But I'm really liking this conversation.
I know, and it's so exciting. Like, how was your first year going as a recruiter, though? Like, how was the first year going? How are you liking it?
So the first year, I feel like it's been like a journey. So I've had to like navigate like mental health, your leaders, all of that. And just keeping my focus on like what my actual goal was before I transitioned out. So I was just in a space of just like learning. And even if I got like sidetracked or, you know, whatever, I would still have to like kind of revert back to like my original goals that I've written down for myself and not worry about like the extra kind of like noise and just kind of, you know, do my due diligence. My numbers speak for themselves and kind of, you know, just like around me, just like build a support system of people that I was working with, you know. So that's kind of like all I was focused on. I wasn't really focused on anything else. So for me, overall, it's been a good experience, but I'm really excited to like go to a space where I'm celebrated and like, you know, there's just so much more opportunities to speak your mind and without feeling like, oh, is someone gonna like say something later? Like, you know what I mean? So, and I feel like it's very much encouraged and I like that. And it helps you be yourself and not like, oh, like have to be quiet or in the background or, you know, things like that. So I'm excited to go to a new city to meet more people. Like I've been meeting like a lot of Black women in tech in Dallas. So I'm excited to kind of like meet more people, meet up with women like that are in the same space as me. Cause I've not had that at all. So I'm definitely excited to meet more people, collaborate with them and just kind of see where my tech journey like takes me. Cause this is, you know, I'm going through it just like any other person and I don't have any experience. So I'm just like putting myself out there. Like I pretty much have done everything and we'll see what hits. So, but I'm excited for this new journey. I really am.
I got a little off topic question right quick for you. Are you open to like speaking on like Twitter spaces and events, conferences, things like that?
Yeah, I could do that.
Okay. Yeah, because we actually, we actually working on some of that for All About the Data. Like we trying to do more Twitter spaces and we actually plan to host like a conference and have different recruiters out there. So I do have people from Google and now Amazon coming through.
Like in person or are we virtual?
It's going to be virtual for this.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this will be our very first one. So, you know, since I used to do this in the entertainment industry, but never for tech. So it's going to be interesting.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah, you know, just transfer everything I learned from there right into this.
Exactly. That's what's up. I love that.
Yeah,
okay, so, I'm good for that.
Most stuff, but you know, we all about the data, so I got to get some data from you. I want to know if you can track how many people you've recruited since you've been a recruiter.
So let me see. Since I've been a recruiter, I probably I think like
an estimate.
Like 30, 31 or take.
In a year? That's that's a good chunk.
It's high. Listen to me. It is high volume. I'm telling you. So I feel like I've been prepared for the space of like it not even being 30 people that I even have to recruit.
Right.
I may have to recruit maybe 2 people a month. I probably don't even have to talk like. We had like the metrics was so like grandiose. I feel like it was just so much that we had to do for metrics or whatever to be able to bonus or, you know, do all these things. So what the space that I'm going into is just going to be like in a space of like, I could do that if I wanted to, but I don't need to do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because this is already like a set salary. I was getting a salary plus I had to work for like my commission. This is already like a set salary. It's not like I would be just working for bonuses and performance, you know?
It's
already a high pay, RSUs, all these other benefits. So it's like sign-on bonus, like 5-figure sign-on bonuses. So these things are already in place. Like, I don't need to work for that. I would just be working for any goals that I have. Like, if I'm trying to be in leadership, this is what I need to be doing to, you know, show that I'm a leader I'm the expert in this field. You know, that's kind of like what I would be focused on, which is great because then I don't have to, because first of all, if I could be transparent, hustle culture is dead to me. Okay. Like, we do not have to do that. We don't.
Girl.
I am all about working less and making more.
Working smarter.
That's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah. Like, I just, that hustle thing, like, I'm going to get sleep.
Okay. A napping or something.
You mean
exactly. I'm the same way. No, we sleep over here. Take naps, all that. Vacations, rest, breaks, all of it.
People are like, oh yeah, I'm not sleeping. I'm on the grind. And I'm like,
run themselves ragged. Like, we are not machines. We are humans.
I'm not going to do that, because once you do that, you literally attract everything that you have to grind.
Exactly.
And I will never put that into my atmosphere. Okay, I rebuke that.
I know that's right.
Work less and make more. And that is my motto.
I'm still transitioning out of that mindset. You know, in the music industry, we used to work around the clock. So
we waiting on you. We're here for you when you finally make that transition.
It's gonna happen. I got a personal question for you though, since you said you recruited about 30 plus people or so. Like, what is that feeling like? Like, how does it make you feel knowing that you just got somebody a job and doing something they want to do?
So it makes me feel really good, because there's some people that this could be life-changing for them. Like, I know that there was like a lot of, tussle about that girl that everybody was talking about the, like the house lowball, that candidate. Yeah. When I was doing recruiting, there was people that were like, yeah, I just want, like, even like I would get like university grads too sometimes. And they would be like, oh yeah, I just want 65. Meanwhile, I know that the job is paying like $80 an hour. So I'm just like, I always give them the full. And sometimes I don't even tell them, but I'm like, oh, okay, we'll just give you the max. And they find out that they get the full, because like, people really don't know. And sometimes, like, on the phone, especially like women, I would teach them, and I would like tell them, like, hey, listen, this is where you need to go to find out what the roles are, years of experience, just so that the next time that you know what to say, or you know how to negotiate and find out like what they're offering first before you say anything. So you can say, if it's big and it's something that you didn't think that you were going to get, ask for 5,000 more. Okay. Because what's going to happen is that they probably will give it to you because they have the budget, because if they're giving you this large number that you think is already outrageous, they got the capacity for it. So it's like, and then they're like, people are so scared to like say a number because they don't want them to rescind the offer. And I'm like, jobs are not going to do that. And if a job does that, you don't want to be there anyways, because when you ask for a promotion, what's going to happen when you ask for a raise? Like, no. So they were probably doing you a favor if that does happen, but that's not going to happen. They're not going to rescind the offer. They're just going to come back and say, well, according to market and whatever value that you're bringing to the table, this is what we are able to offer you. This is our max budget. And then you can make the decision to move forward and say yes, or say, you know what? Thank you so much for playing. You have a great day. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I think that come from, because I'm kind of like that too. Like, recruiters ask me, I'd be like, yeah, anywhere between 60 to 70. And like, my mindset is, I ain't never make past 40, to be honest. So it's like anything past 40 is like, it's like mind blowing for me. Like, dang, I could actually make that much. I don't got no degree. I don't got, so it's like, so, I guess we do kind of got to be trained on that, because you tell me 70K, I might jump through the roof. Like, I might be excited. So,
And I feel like we all get like that. So now that we can, advocate for people, teach them, and let them know, like, this might be outrageous, but this look right here. This is what you're going for right now. I'm not lying to you. Like, you can ask for this and they will pay you. So that people won't be scared and they can see it, like in front of them. So I'm just like, I'm just trying to give them resources. Even if I don't get them the job, or they don't go through, they don't get pushed through, I'm still like taking that time to kind of like educate them on things that they should be doing, researching prior to. And also, I would never give a broad spectrum of like where you want to be, because they're going to pick the lower end. You pick the high end, right? The consumer is going to think the higher end, but as a recruiter, I'm going to give you the low end. You know what I mean? Because that's what because just say, for instance, that we have to stay in like a budget or whatever. So that's why they do those, like when they give us like numbers, they'll say in between this and this so that we stay in between. So they don't want you to give everyone the max, but if they are, years of experience and, their expertise, all these things like add a factor. So if it is, I'm going to give you on the higher end of that, but you don't want to give them an option to do that too. So you always want to like come with like a specific number, even if it's like 130,500. That's my number, period. So, you know what I mean? So it's like, it's little things like that. They'll come back with, okay, well, we can do 125K. And then you're like, well, I'll take it because I was just trying you. So like,
right. Yeah, I'm saying, no, I'm starting to get a little more bold with it because I've been paying a little bit more attention to my transferable skills. And I'm like, I really have a lot of stuff they're looking for because I did a lot of this stuff on my own. I ran businesses on my own. I scaled up stuff on my own. So like now, yeah, I'm starting to see when I'm looking at project management, marketing, all that. I'm like, okay, I was doing all this without even like realizing, the professional terminology for it. So it's like, I'm like, I got experience already,
You do. And all you have to do is speak to it. And then they'll be like, oh, okay. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Like first of all, whatever you tell a recruiter, they cannot police you. They can't say, oh, no, you didn't have a company. They cannot say that.
Yeah. So all my stuff was registered, so I could pull it up.
Okay.
Not the receipts.
Ooh, I got receipts if they ever need to see it. It's really important
too. So during this tech journey, I am figuring out that you need to document everything that you do. If your manager asks you to get on a project, write that down. Write the project, the date. If you oversaw 3 people, write it down. Add that to your, update your resume periodically just so that you don't forget and mark a date on it. So that way, if you do move forward 5 years from now, you're not going to be scrambling, trying to remember and trying to redo your resume. You're always going to have it. And I never used to be like that. I just started it this last year that I transitioned into. This whole time that I've been in recruiting, I've literally have written down, I've exceeded my metrics this many months. I've exceeded a personal goal by 50%. I have done XYZ. You know what I mean? I've led, so they have these group, the morning meetings, they're called stand-ups. So I've led stand-ups this many times within a 12-month period. So that way there's leadership in there. You're getting your numbers together, all these other things. You're motivated. You have all of these skills that now they are in document form, and I can present this to someone look at, this is what I've done over the course of my, my experience in this, in my previous employment. So document is so key.
Man, Patricia, you gave me an Amazon.
Yeah, but to speak to what you're saying, that is very important. I have a brag folder right now for my current job. Every project I'm a part of, every metric I surpass, I put it in my folder. So when I do want to get my data job, I have that stuff to back me up. So yeah, it is very important. Yeah.
So now when you're in the interview, all you gotta do is just pull out your notes, and now you have a lot of things to speak to, and they're right in front of you. You don't have to think about it.
Can you do that though? Can you pull up notes, or do they expect you to just go off their dome?
No, yes, you can. Yes, you can.
Oh, we about to turn up.
Yes, you can. I wrote, I literally have a Word document of all of the questions that I've had. I pulled it up so my screen was right here, and I pulled up my Word document on the side of everything, because there's no way that you can remember that. And they tell you that you're able to have notes with you. If you want to bring, if it was a in person, you were able to bring notes with you to revert back to, not read. It's public speaking, you're
a bullet point.
You look up at
that. Exactly.
Yeah. Kind of what we're doing right now.
You are allowed to have notes. Yeah. There's no way that you
Yeah. Dang, that's interesting. You just gave me something to think about.
Yes,
Yeah.
please.
This is why I like doing podcasts. It's like you helping other people learn, but you learning at the same time.
Exactly. Yep. Exactly.
But
So
yeah,
did you? My bad. Did you have like a dream company when you first started like in recruiting? Like, did you have a specific one to go for?
so I didn't have a specific company, but I knew that I did want to be with like a large company.
Right.
And it was FANG specifically. So one of the FANG companies, I was applying to everything. So that was like one of my goals. So I didn't have like Amazon specifically, but I did like before when I first graduated, when I tried to get that role that I didn't get, it was Amazon was on there. And it was just trying to just go through, like, I think I did Amazon, Dropbox, Microsoft, Google. To this day, I still haven't heard from Microsoft or Google.
Oh, snap.
You're going to hear from them now.
I was going to say, they're probably watching this now.
So,
like, dang, we missed out.
yeah, it was crazy. The last person we interviewed from Amazon, they said everybody started at Amazon. And then after Amazon, you can go anywhere you
everywhere else. Yeah.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, but he was a business intelligence engineer.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
I'm pretty sure it probably is the same.
It applies to everything else.
I'm sure. Yeah. So, well, it looks like people stay at Amazon because some of the people that interviewed me, they look young and they were there for 5 years, 3 years. There was only
you look young too. You need to stop.
Right.
You look about 25.
Okay, fresh.
So it was, like it was like I was talking to like my peers, but some of them have been there and they've been through like different positions in Amazon and have gotten to this role or been there for 5 years in that role. If they already were like a technical sourcer or a recruiter, they're transitioning and, with the better pay and all that, with the better company. So it was nice to see like different people that actually have been there for a long time and they actually like it and they want to stay. And, Amazon just has so many opportunities. They have this, like a side like group that they have. It's called Ben. It's a Black Employee Network. So they do like a lot of events for that too. And like, that's one of the things that I'm excited to be a part of as well. I'm probably going to do Ben and then the Women at Amazon. So they just have a lot of opportunities that you can get into, you can do, that I'm really, really excited to kind of like know more. So that way I can, because, you sign a NDA. So there's only so much things that you can say online without giving too much. So I'm definitely like excited to share more information about the tech space in general and just give more information about things that I find out in these, just talking to different people, mentors, and learning more about Amazon. So I can't wait for that.
Yeah, it sounds exciting. So is like recruitment, is that your forever home? Because you talked about getting into leadership. Like, what do you mean by getting into leadership?
I'm sorry, it like went out. I didn't hear.
No, it's okay. So like, is recruiting, is that like your forever position? Like, is that your forever home? Because you talked about getting into leadership positions. So what do you mean by like getting into those type of titles? So either like recruiting, to me, I always say like wherever my career takes me, I'm gonna go with it. Right. Mm-hmm.
So I do eventually want to get into like more leadership roles, like maybe a lead on the team, or maybe transition into like being a manager or like a project manager. It just depends like where I can take like what I'm trying to do. Like say if I get with the manager and I'm letting them know upfront, like, hey, I love my role. I love the position that I'm in, but eventually I do want to be in like some sort of leadership position. So, and if they come up with like a plan for me and we're, going back and forth and collaborating, and whenever there's like a project, they're putting me on it and I'm overseeing people, and it could potentially turn into like a project manager role. I'm with that. If it could potentially turn into like a lead position, I'm with that. If it could potentially turn into a management position, I'm with that too. Or a senior, whoever, like, it's just like wherever it kind of like takes me. Cause I don't really know. I have a goal, but I don't want to, like
limit yourself to just that.
Exactly. Like, I don't want to eliminate everything else that could be on my way. So I always say just wherever my career takes me, and I will definitely be following it. So
yeah, big facts. Got to. That's the path I'm on. Data found me. I ain't find data. But I got a question. This for me and the people. We all want to know, like, how does LinkedIn work? Because recruiters will message me for positions I don't got nothing to do with my profile, nothing to do with the interest that I put on there. Like, how does that happen?
So how that happens is we use LinkedIn Recruiter, but say for instance, you have something on your resume that probably may not have something to do with your job, but you put it on there. Maybe it's like, okay, I'm a recruiter and I put on mine HTML. If someone that's a recruiter looking for maybe a business analyst or somebody that has HTML, I might pop up on their search. So what happens is that even if I do, that recruiter probably didn't go through the search to take me out and say, oh, okay, she's a recruiter, even though it says she has HTML on the highlighted. So they don't go through it. They just send all those 100 people a message. So that's what happens.
Oh.
So it's really up to us to tailor our resume and make sure we get the right kind of connections.
Because I began program manager positions. I'm like, program manager? Like, when did I say anything about that?
That's probably why. It's probably something on your resume that is to add you on search. So that's the only thing that I could see, because that's happened, because I've done that before. So that's why I know. Because sometimes it's like you need to get like a search string together, and like we do like Boolean searches and all these other things. So sometimes you have to get a quick search together just to get some people in your pipeline. And that's like the quickest way to do it, without like having to like look through everything. Because sometimes it's thousands and no one's doing that. No one's going through like just no one's doing that. But you definitely have to optimize LinkedIn, and just everything in your LinkedIn does just surround what you're actually doing. So the tools that you're actually using, maybe it may transfer to some other, I guess you can't really like block out recruiters from reaching out to you, because if HTML is something that I work with every day, I have to put it in my resume. You know what I mean? Like I have to put it up as one of my skills.
No, I take all opportunities though, I take all interviews just to see, see what they're going to say.
Because you never know. It might be something that you may be interested in, or maybe something that you didn't know. Because a lot of people get hung up on like titles, and we need to throw that out the window. Look at the description of what it's saying. Exactly. And if you're like, oh, I can do that. Oh, I can do that. And if it's whoever, it doesn't matter. It literally does not matter what the name is. As long as you can do what's in the job description is very much key. So
it's crazy you said that too, because like the program manager position, it was asking for SQL, Tableau, and Excel. So it was asking for like data analyst things, but it was program manager.
Right.
So that makes sense too. It's like
I would have entertained that conversation.
Oh, I did.
See what their day-to-day was.
I did.
Just to entertain it. And if it was something, I would be like, okay. Because I know a bunch of people that they work from home and they have like 2 jobs.
Yeah.
2, 3, 4. I know some with 4. I'm like, how you do it?
So it's like, I mean, if you can handle that, like me as a recruiter, I probably would not be able to. But I think like people that are business analysts, like more on the IT side, they are very much able to handle jobs. Like he had like a job on the East Coast, and then he had a job on the West Coast. So he was working until like 8 or 9 o'clock at night sometimes. But
I also take these opportunities too, because I'm a get into tech advocate. So I like to just learn about different opportunities. So when people come to me, I can like kind of help them. Show them different opportunities that they could take too. So, I like to just take advantage of every opportunity that comes to me. So let's see, moving on here. So was it hard to become a technical recruiter? Like what are some things that you got to do to, get into that field?
So to get into tech recruiting, I literally did not know anything about recruiting or tech space or anything like that when I got into the agency. Starting at an agency, kind of gives you the gist of what you need to be doing. And I feel like that's where people can get their experience from, is agency recruiting. So like the Hayes, the Robert Half, what's the other ones? K-Force,
Tech systems.
Oh, is that one? Okay. There's like a whole bunch of like, people that will recruit you through those companies. And those are the types of companies that if you're trying to get into that space, I would look for those first. Or you can go straight into like recruiting coordinators at some jobs, like some tech companies, like just go straight into tech and just by being a recruiting coordinator, because it'll take customer service roles and you can their transferable skills into recruiting coordinator roles, or like customer success manager or things like that. If you're not able to find like an agency recruiting job, because the agency recruiting jobs, they hire people that are coming from customer service backgrounds, because they're going to teach you and train you and be able to mold you into their high volume, like, spitting out things like at a high rate. So I would say that that's probably the best place to start, and then get what you need from it and kind of learn and move forward. So that's what we do that with every job. We learn and we move on. Even if you have a small gap, like I know that there was like a question where if you like, say for instance, I get a position at Amazon, and what if Google calls me and I get that position? Can I leave like Amazon without it being anything? And that answer is yes. Because if Google is paying you more, you have to do what's best for you. Even if I just started there a week ago, 2 weeks ago, it doesn't matter. You can let them, because at this point, they can fire you at any time. You can fire them at any time.
Exactly.
You have to do what's best for you. Because at the end of the day, whenever it's good for them, look at all these layoffs, Zillow and Qualcomm, they don't care. They put everybody on a Zoom call and let you know. Thank you so much. Y'all will have a great day.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, you gotta bounce.
I tell people that you gotta be, you gotta be your brand. You gotta be like me. Yeah. I'm a data analyst, and whatever job comes to me. I don't gotta necessarily tie myself down to one. Unless they give me an offer I can't refuse. That's different. But other than that, I work for myself, and I'll work at whoever I gotta work at for the time being. So. Right. I think that's just the entrepreneur in me, though, So.
But that's true. That's a good mentality to have. Like, we're here to learn and expand and, reach our highest heights. So I don't think that we should like condense ourselves in a box and say like, oh my gosh, I don't want to leave. They've been da-da-da. And that may well be true. They probably have been so great to you, but you literally legit have to do what's best for you and your family or your situation.
Exactly.
To be your best self. There's just like, to me, I can't sugarcoat that. There's just
I mean, well, I'm trying to get a CMO position, and those are not necessarily the easiest to get. So I know for sure I can't just stay at one spot. Because it's very rare that a CMO leaves. So
right. And when we go to different jobs, it's either you get promoted or your pay is higher. So exactly. If you're not being promoted in the current position, I say when you are in your position, being promoted should be within 6 months to a year. If you are not being promoted, you need to leave after a year or two. I give it 2. Let's do the max 2. After 2 years and you've not been promoted, you need to move around.
Yeah, you gotta promote yourself. You gotta move around.
Like that's my advice.
That's big facts.
So, what advice would you have for someone trying to get into technical recruiting?
My advice is to be diligent. Don't take no for an answer, and don't be insecure. And even if you get no's, it's only leading you to that yes that you're wondering, because it sounds corny, but it's so true. Because
it is. Even
if places that I wanted to work at and they told me no, it was only leading me to Amazon. So imagine if I would have worked there, or sometimes we force things that we don't really need to be doing. Yeah. And even though they're like, oh, I'm not going to take no for an answer, I'm going to find another way. When really we need to move on. It's redirection to where you're supposed to be and not force.
Exactly.
So it's like we have to have discernment too, to kind of figure out like, is it a test? Like, should I still be going at this? Or is it something that I should be pivoting? you know? So that's just kind of like where we need to be.
Facts. Like, once again, this is a powerful conversation. We ain't gonna take the whole day though. We get into the top of the hour. The hour comes so fast.
Oh, wow. I didn't even realize.
Conversation. It's just time just zoom. Like, you know, especially like you're good at conversating. I can tell you have good presentation skills too. Like present, even though I didn't have the opportunity to send you these questions in advance like I was supposed to, but you killed it though. You know, you came through and you just shut it down. So this is like one of our personal questions we like to ask. Like, what is some of your book recommendations? Like, what's 2 or 3 books you would recommend?
So right now I'm reading The First 90 Days. I don't know who the author is, but it's called The First 90 Days. Pretty much you are it's helping you navigate your first 90 days of like the position that you're in. So I'm kind of reading that just so that I can, you know, like kind of do my due diligence. And it's like talking about like, you know, when you're on your one-on-one with your managers and letting them know what like path that you want to take and like how you want to take your career. Because people kind of like come into the role and they're just so excited about everything, which, you know, warrants it. But it's like, we definitely need to have a goal set in mind and let everybody know what that goal is and not just be a face on a screen. Like we definitely need to be somebody that stands out, you know, positively. And, you know, every time they see it, they're like, oh, okay, that's Patricia. Like she's trying to do da 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 da. That's how I want them to see me. So I want to put it out there. So that way my manager knows, everybody knows, and that I'm, you know, exuding leadership, or I'm going to be attracting these things. And when every time they see me, this is what they see. These are subliminal. Whenever you tell something to somebody, it could not even be true, but every time they see you, that's what they think of when they see you. So I tell you that, and eventually you're going to believe that. Like when I first started in Airbnb, I just called myself the Airbnb queen. I only had one Airbnb. And even to this day, I don't even have a lot of Airbnbs, but because I give a lot of knowledge and all that, people, when they see me, they automatically assume I'm the expert in this field.
That's crazy. That's the same thing they say for me. They're like, oh, you're a data analyst. I'm like, well, I'm not hired as one yet, but.
But when they see you, because you've already said this about yourself, every time somebody sees you, this is what they believe. It's literally subliminal. So when you tell somebody this is what you're a leader. I'm a leader. That's what I am. When you see me and something else comes up in your pipeline, you're like, oh, okay, Patricia. She's a leader. What do you mean? Exactly. Like, I'm next up. It's like subliminal. They're going to pick my resume over someone else's because it's just like I stick out to them. There could be a whole bunch of people that look just like me, but they're always going to pick me every time.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, because people, they don't understand. Like once you get in, the journey doesn't stop. Like that's not the finish line, or it shouldn't be a finish line. Like you still have to keep, you know, being active and getting hired, basically.
Right. So it's like you always constantly have to be on, and it'll come naturally because if this is something you're passionate about, what you want to do, I just feel like it will come naturally. It won't even feel like you're doing anything. It'll feel like, oh, I'm just, you know, they'll call your name and you just like, I mean, I don't know. I just showed up and they like, you know what I mean? So it'll be natural. It's like something that you don't actually like have to like work that hard for because it's literally you.
Yeah, honestly, like most of the interviews I've been going on, they all been coming to me. So
see,
yeah, they all been coming to me. I rarely applied to most of these interviews I've been having. So, and one of them I was bold. I messaged the CEO. I'm like, yeah, we got to talk, and we ended up talking, and he set up an interview with the hiring manager for me. So you know,
immediately, look at this.
Yeah. So see? I'm waiting on that.
Everything's subliminal. It really is.
Yeah. So I know you said you start Amazon Monday, so we're gonna congratulate you on that. We're gonna say the date because you know this episode might not be out by then, but the 4th. Oh, Valentine's Day.
The 14th. Yes.
What a gift.
That's my Valentine's Day gift.
Wait, so that's when you're gonna move to Dallas, or that's when you're gonna start the job?
So no, that's when I'm going to start the job. So they were supposed to fly us to Seattle for a week of training, but I guess at the time that they thought of it, or they were deciding, they, you know, the Omarion was circulating.
It gotta be us, huh?
Okay. So they decided against it, but now that everything's kind of going back to, I don't know,
normal-ish.
Yeah. So they're releasing like the mandates and all these. So these large companies, they do what the world is doing. So if they're, relinquishing these mandates, they're going to start, like letting, being loose with like how they move. So I think that week-long Seattle like trip is probably going to be like maybe next month or something like that. So I start on the 14th. I'll start remote. And then, so all the trainings will be remote. I will move because I'm doing like this little farewell type of party, like in Florida with all the people that I've met throughout my 11 years here. And then I'll be leaving towards the end of February. I'll be in Dallas. So my apartment's already done, paid for, all that. So I just got to move my stuff there. So they're shipping everything too. So my apartment's almost empty. And then they'll come with their truck and ship everything and take down my TVs and all that.
Live the big life.
Listen, this is the first time I'm getting this big boy paycheck. And I love this for me.
Okay.
I ain't mad at you. I'm glad we was able to connect. And like I said, I got some other things I'm gonna want you to be a part of. And then hopefully for your Amazon reunion, we can get you back on here and ask you about your first year.
Yes, I'm excited.
In Dallas, yeah.
So
I'm excited for you. That's a big move.
Yeah.
It is. I'm gonna be moving all by myself. I don't know not a soul in Dallas. I don't know anybody. So if anyone out there want to link up, Black Girls Factory, I love that for us. So if you're a part of that, if you're a part of the hashtag, we need to meet.
Yeah. So you said you was building yourself up on TikTok, right? That's where you're building your brand at. Okay, so I'll make sure
I'm building my brand on Twitter and TikTok.
Okay, so I'll make sure we put that in the show notes so people can go follow you. Make sure y'all go follow Patricia, Amazon technical recruiter, for everyone that's in the game. Actually, last question: what kind of position? Well, you probably don't know the kind of positions you'll be looking for at that time, do you?
Yeah, I do. So I will be hiring for AWS cloud developers on the back end developers.
All right, so back end developers, make sure you follow suit if you're trying to get into Amazon. We're going to go ahead and get into our Tech Titan part of the show. So it's where we just recognize somebody in tech that's doing big things for the Black tech Twitter community. We'll go ahead and bring that over to Shanice.
Yes, so our Tech Titan for this episode is Pierre DeBois. If you're active in the Black tech Twitter community on Twitter, LinkedIn, Clubhouse, I'm pretty sure you've been part of his space. He owns Zamana Analytics. He participates in a lot of community events and associated with Black Tides, and he provides good tips on marketing and analytics. So Pierre, we just want to shout you out. Thank you for all that you do, and you are very appreciated.
Shout out to Pierre and Black Tides. Black Tides is actually good too.
Yeah, for sure.
Probably could, have you ever thought about like linking with like pipelines to like source potential candidates too?
Linking with what pipelines?
Like what's a good one? I think Black Pipelines have one, but it's like they have like websites where you can put that you're recruiting for somebody, and I guess they kind of
like Black Tech Pipeline.
Yeah.
Okay. No, I've not even.
Pierre is the owner of the hashtag Black Tech Twitter. She has the BTS pipeline.
Yeah. There's a lot of people like within the Black tech Twitter community that have things like that, like baddies in tech. They have it. I guess if you have a position, you can put it there and they could try to match somebody too.
Oh,
yeah, I'll send you some.
What do I do? Just put it on Twitter?
I'll send you some that I have.
Oh,
so you can look into it.
Y'all are trying to help me already.
We got to. You came on here. You gave like some good advice. It was a good session. So, we're trying to give back in ways that we can, and we know how. So,
yeah. Oh, I love that. This community is lit. Okay.
That's how we do it.
I like this. This is already, my journey in tech is already starting to be really, really good. Like, I feel like I'm getting a lot of feedback on Twitter. Oh, and I'm a creator on LinkedIn now too. So I'm trying to get that.
Yeah.
But I literally want to give out this information. Like, I want everyone to know. I really, really do. I cannot wait to like get in my role and start giving out more information. It's going to be fun. I'm excited.
Big facts. We excited for you. we want to shout out to everybody for tuning into the All About the Data show. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. And we on Google now, and we trying to get everywhere else soon. So make sure you follow us and tune into all the episodes. We got more coming through. So make sure you tune in. All About the Data. Join the Discord community. We about to be at 3,000 members probably before this episode even comes out. So we blowing up. We appreciate you, and we out. Peace.